What's up, everybody? Thanks for tuning in today with Warfels Morphs. I'm Jeremy. This is Xena here, our female jungle carpet python. She's absolutely gorgeous. I love her. Especially love her head stamp because it looks like a little demon on top of her head. She would work with me. But anyway, the demon kind of fits her personality to an extent sometimes. She's actually been really good today. I've had her out. This is actually take number 2 because my computer started acting up. But no, she's been really good today. I always wear gloves with her just because she's been nippy from the start, and she's getting better. But she still does throw you a tag here and there, and she's comfortable with the gloves. So I just kind of haven't switched over. Also, it helps to have me not bleed all over the place because let's just face it, who wants to bleed over their computer and anything that they're working with? And she is absolutely gorgeous. She has lots of tipping on her sides. Try to get some of that in there. Basically, the tipping's just the yellow speckling into the black areas there. She's got tons of it, which was one of the main things that I fell in love with her. She's produced by Pedro at Funky Morelia. So I'll try to include a link to his Facebook page in the description in this. But yeah, he was a great guy to work with. I absolutely love her. I always wanted a carpet, and once I got her, it was kind of like a real quick addiction. I mean, I just had to get more, so we went and got Lagatha shortly after. But anyway, today's video is going to be on feeding the carpets, and as well as feeding ball pythons. I'll start with the carpets since I have Xena out. Carpets are very food oriented. That's the only way to put it. I mean, they're like trash cans. They always want to eat. They will 9 times out of 10, you put something in there that's food, they're gonna take it. I feed Xena one extra large mouse a week, uh, and then Lagatha gets one average normal adult mouse a week. And we do have one ball python that is on mice. It used to eat rats, but for whatever reason, that one switched over to mice. And when he doesn't eat, one of the carpet girls gets the extra mouse. She gets me all wrapped up here. But yeah, so that I've never had them refuse food. The only weird thing is that uh Lagatha, our other jungle carpet female, she won't eat rats at all. And whenever have tried to offer rats to Xena here, she actually goes into like a massive defensive mode where she just constantly strikes and gets very territorial and defensive and wants nothing to do with them. So I don't know what that's about really. I don't know if anybody's ever had that experience. If you have, comment down below. Let me know how you remedy that one because I'd love to get her on rats. But it's just kind of, she likes mice, so that's what I feed her. Now she's going to try to constrict my wrist. But anyway, so yeah, we feed them once a week, each of them. And like I said, sometimes the one of the girls will get an extra mouse here and there. Um, Probably part of the reason why Xena's been growing so much here recently is because the one male ball python upstairs hasn't really been eating that well here lately. So one of them's been getting a mouse, just about an extra mouse every week. But then with the ball pythons, with the ball pythons, same thing. Feed them once a week. Some of the We have one baby that is on rat pups from Tallgrass Reptiles. It's our Xanthic Orange Dream Girl. She's on rat pups, but all the males that we have are on small rats, and all the females are on medium rats. When I go to feed, what I'll do is out of 12 snakes, I figure, granted, this is also depending on the time of year, figure about maybe half of them are actually on food. So figures that's maybe 6 of them will eat. I'll thaw out maybe, I don't know, 4 rats and go from there. If all the 4 rats get eaten, I'll kind of check to see who else seems hungry and thaw out another 1 or 2 rats and kind of play it by ear. I don't like the waste rats because they do get a little costly. But at the same token, I want to make sure that the animals are fed well. You definitely don't want a hungry snake. because to me that's just not right. If they're hungry, you got to feed them. But yeah, she's just so beautiful. If your ball python doesn't eat, it's not the end of the world. I've had some of them go on without food for months. I think the longest I had was uh, Drogan, the GHI Mojave male that was paired up with Anna or Pastel Banana. Um, he's the father of clutch number two. He went off food for like 10 months. And I mean, he started getting a little skinny, so I did stop pairing him. She's getting jumpy now. But I did stop pairing him. But he just all is like he quit eating for a while, and then just one day all of a sudden he decided, hey, I'm gonna go back start eating again. I hate it when she goes towards my face. And like I said, don't fully trust her yet. But yeah, so I've seen a lot of people on the one of the pages I'm on Facebook here. When there people are worried about their snake nighting, it's nothing major. Don't worry about it. Ball pythons are known for going off food. It's not the end of the world. They'll go months and then all of a sudden they'll just start eating again like nothing ever happened. Um, all I can say is best way to go about it is keep track with like a feeding sheet or a feeding card of some sort, which I'll show you. Here's just feed card I keep for Xena. There we go. Where I just marked down what she ate, when she ate, and if she didn't eat, which you can see there's no red on her sheet at all because she always eats. And also keep track of her shed cycles. Well, that's just an easy way. So that way, if you do start noticing that, hey, something's not right here, they haven't eaten in forever and they start looking massively unhealthy, you can go to the vet and be like, look, hey, something's wrong. Here's the feed card. This is the when she last ate. It just helps keep track of everything because as time goes on and the more snakes you have, it gets hard to keep track of everything. It really does. I mean, even with just 12 snakes or 12 ball pythons and two carpets, I mean, I'd never be able to remember who ate when. It's just impossible. So I do strongly recommend keeping a feed card or a feed log or writing it down somewhere. So that way you can keep track of it. When it comes to feeding, like I said, carpets basically eat nonstop. I mean, they just love food. And the ball pythons, they're finicky. That's probably the biggest drawback with ball pythons is the fact that they're finicky eaters. My one friend that breeds boas, he thinks ball pythons are beautiful, but he's not completely sold on the food strikes there. He says that would drive him nuts, which it does drive you nuts. I mean, it because your mentality is, hey, my snake's hungry, it should eat. There's saying hi to everybody. But big thing is your snake knows when needs to eat and when it wants to eat. So I mean, you kind of have to trust them and Mother Nature to make the right decision. So let's go upstairs and we'll go and feed some snakes. Nope, not gonna eat. She just got into this new tub, so I don't know if she'll eat or not. It's starting to look like possibly. There we go. Twitch. Carpet's out. Looks like Laggett is all ready to go. She's on cue. That's right here. This is kind of hard to film in this. There we go. All wrapped up. Well, each of them are actually going to get an extra mouse. One, because some of the mice are a little on the small side. And two, Because the mouser ball python did not eat his mouse. And you can see Zena's all keyed up. She is such a beautiful snake. Alright, let them do. I'll try to actually get them, chowing them down here once, and then feed them their second mouse. Make sure you hit that like button. Leave a comment down below if you'd like. All comments are appreciated. And also make sure you hit that subscribe button and hit that notification bell so that way you know the exact second that I upload another video. How I thaw out our rodents and everything is I'll stick the mice in one bag and one Ziploc bag, and put the rats in a completely separate bag, because the male ball python that doesn't like to eat rats now all of a sudden, even if it has the scent of a rat on it, he won't touch it. So I just thaw the rats out in a completely separate bag from the mice and seal them all up, put them into a tub of hot water, and takes a couple of warm-ups on the water till they fully thaw out. But then once they're thawed, pull them out of the bag and put them under the heat lamps normally just for a little bit, just to give them that extra little bit of heat, so that way the snakes pick them up a little bit quicker. And go ahead and feed them to the snakes. It seems that, as you saw, I mean, they hone in on them awful quick, and you also got to see what I was talking about with how the carpets are very food oriented. I mean, she knew exactly what was going on. She was out and ready, and she was on point, and it did not take her long at all to snag that mouse. I'm filming Lagatha there eating. Zena's up here staring me down, waiting for her second mouse. So I'm gonna have to give her second mouse here very, very soon. There's always that great debate as far as which is better, feeding live or frozen thawed. In all honesty, it's really no right or wrong. It's just a matter of what works best for your animals and what works best for you as well. Animals being the priority, of course, but if you're feeding live, yes, you run the chance of rodent biting your snake. If you feed frozen thawed, you don't have to worry about that, but it takes up freezer space, and yeah, that time of thawing them out, and it's basically a one-time use. You thaw out the rodent, the snake doesn't eat it, and if none of the other snakes in your collection will eat it, you gotta throw it out. I mean, you can't refreeze them or reuse them, so it's like a one-time deal with them, which would be the only downfall with frozen thawed. This is our orange drooping xanthic girl there. She's so beautiful. Got her from Tallgrass Reptiles earlier this year. I don't bother feeding my snakes when they're in shed, especially the ball pythons. The ball pythons, 9 times out of 10 in my collection anyway, if they're in shed, they don't even acknowledge that you're trying to feed them, so I don't even bother anymore. The carpets will pay attention, and 9 times out of 10 they'll still eat. But the ball pythons, they just want nothing to do with food, for me anyway, while they're in shed. Alright, let's try feeding the adult ball pythons now. There, she's on point. She is just a beast when it comes to eating. She always has been. That's the great thing with her. I mean, she just almost always eats. Very rarely does she ever miss a meal. Alright, that's one of the certain ones. Yeah, we'll go on to the ones that are maybes. Nope, not interested. Ties and shed, we'll try. Very good. Ooh. Trying to feed while looking through the phone and to tell you, show you what you're doing is very, very hard and a pain in the neck sometimes. Nope, not gonna happen. We've got two girls in the shed. And we've got one of the other girls that normally eats. She's gravid. So we're not even gonna bother trying those two. This guy's been off food for a while. He's not even remotely interested. Nope. You could care less. There's our Puma male. There we go. And that there, I think that was just a matter of he was picking up the heat for me because I didn't put the rats underneath the light like I normally do. So I think he was a little bit confused as to where he needed to be striking. Looks like I'm gonna have to thaw out one more rat maybe. Let me check and see what her response is like. Sometimes she's an iffy one. I'll thaw out a small one for her quick. You notice I twitch the roads a little bit after they coil them up, and that's just simply giving them that sense of it's something that's alive. It gets them using their muscles a little bit more. It's one thing I was always told that, try to get them to use those muscles like they naturally would, just that way they keep up that muscle definition and that muscle tone. Also, that way they don't get lazy. Just gives them a little bit of a workout for a change. And lets them maintain that predatory instinct. Another thing to keep in mind is that these animals are mainly nocturnal. They do come out during the day to bask out in the sunlight and stuff naturally, but at nighttime is when most of their feeding activity does take place. So during the daytime is when I'll mess around in their enclosures, get them out, hold them, do that kind of stuff, do the cleaning. But the second it becomes night out, probably about 8 o'clock or so, I completely stay out of the tanks unless I am feeding them. And it basically has them trained to where they know that when it's nighttime, if something's going on at the enclosure, it's food. And during the day, they don't bat an eye and they don't even think about it. It's just kind of been programmed into them by this point, and it holds true for me. So, no, just one thing to keep in mind: try to limit your contact with them to just during the daylight hours. That way, yours too will eventually become trained to associate daytime with not being fed. Wow, everybody. That is just amazing. I love watching the snakes eat. Every week never ceases to amaze me with how quick their strike is. I mean, it's blink of an eye, boom, they got it. Um, if you noticed, not all the ball pythons ate. That's nothing new. 9 times out of 10, you're at least gonna have one or two that doesn't eat. That's just the name of the game with them. They're finicky, like I said before, and you just can't really worry about some of the snakes haven't eaten for a couple of weeks, some of them a couple of months at the moment. So, but it's one of those deals where when they're ready, they will eat, and I know they will. Because Drogon went, like I said before, went at almost like 10, 11 months, and as you saw there, he's eating like a beast again now. So you just can't really worry about it. That's going to be it for this week. Next week, tune in because we're switching gears a little bit. We're going to go over to my buddy's place and take a look at his boa collection. He's got some top notch, and I mean top notch boas, stuff that takes my breath away. And it makes me want to own a boa, even though I'm not much of a boa guy. It makes me want to actually own one. So we'll head over there next week and take a look at his stuff. So make sure you hit that notification bell and subscribe so that way you're notified when that happens. And we'll catch you next week. Thanks for tuning in.